In the autumn of 1973, the University of California at Berkeley admitted 44% of its male graduate applicants and only 35% of its female applicants, a 9-point gap across thousands of applicants. The administration prepared for a discrimination lawsuit. Then the university hired a statistician to look at the data department by department. He came back with a result nobody expected. On almost every individual department, women were admitted at a higher rate than men. Both numbers were correct, both at the same time. This is Simpson's paradox, and once you see it, you cannot trust an average again. Simpson's paradox is named after Edward Hugh Simpson, a British cryptanalyst who broke Italian Navy ciphers at Bletchley Park during the Second World War, and who, in 1951, published a 4-page paper for the Royal Statistical Society called The Interpretation of Interaction in Contingency Tables. Simpson did not claim to have discovered the effect. Carl Pearson had noticed it in 1899. George Udney Ewell had described it formally in 1903. The name came later, from Colin Blythe, in 1972. The rules of the paradox are simple, so simple that no one bothers to write them down. Rule 1. You have a population. You measure how often something happens, a recovery, an admission, a hit. Rule 2. You can split the population into subgroups by sex, by stone size, by year, by anything you like. Rule 3. You can combine those subgroups back into the whole. 3 rules, nothing controversial. Watch what happens when the subgroup sizes don't match. Back to Berkeley, 1973. Peter Bickel, a young professor of statistics, was given the admissions data for the 6 largest graduate departments, over half the university's applicants. In Department A, the largest, 825 men applied. 62% were admitted. 108 women applied. 82% were admitted. Department B, men 63%, women 68%. Department D, men 33%, women 35%. Department F, men 6%, women 7%. In 4 of the 6 largest departments, women were admitted at a higher rate than men. So where did the headline gap come from? Look at which departments. Department A admitted over half its applicants and was overwhelmingly male, 8-1. Department F admitted only 6% and was nearly evenly split. Women were applying disproportionately to the most selective programs. Men were applying disproportionately to the least selective ones. The aggregate number averaged a different mix of departments for each sex. Berkeley's individual committees were not biased against women. The applicant funnel into the most competitive programs was. So why did the headline number look like discrimination? The answer isn't in the data, it's in what your brain does with averages. Your brain treats the aggregate as if it were the typical case. It assumes that if men are admitted at 44% overall, that number reflects what happened to a representative man. It does not. The 44% is a weighted average of department-level rates, and the weights are different for men and women because they apply to different mixes of departments. In 1954, the economist L.J. Savage wrote down a principle that everyone implicitly believes. He called it the sure thing principle. In plain language, if option A is better in every conceivable circumstance, then option A is better, full stop. Simpson's paradox shows the principle can fail, silently, whenever the distribution of circumstances changes between the things you are comparing. Colin Blythe proved this rigorously in 1972. The paradox is, mathematically, an arithmetic fact about weighted averages. 3 ingredients, different rates per subgroup, different distribution of subgroups, different weight on each. When all 3 line up, the aggregate flips sign. The cure is not more data. The cure is to stop and ask, which question am I really answering? In 1986, the British Medical Journal published a comparison of 2 kidney stone treatments at one hospital. Open surgery, invasive, older, succeeded in 78% of cases. The newer percutaneous technique succeeded in 83%. The newer method looked 5 points better. So far, so reasonable. Then the same patients were split by stone size. For small stones, under 2 centimeters, open surgery succeeded 93% of the time. Percutaneous, 87. For large stones, 2 centimeters or more, open surgery, 73%. Percutaneous, 69. Open surgery was better for small stones. Open surgery was better for large stones. And open surgery looked worse overall. The reason, doctors used the new technique for the easier cases. Open surgery handled the hard ones. The headline number was comparing easy patients to hard patients, not comparing techniques. A patient reading the aggregate in 1986 might have asked for the wrong surgery. The same shape appears outside medicine. In 1995 and 1996, the baseball player David Justice batted a higher average than Derek Jeter in both seasons individually. But across the 2 seasons combined, Jeter was 40 points better. Jeter's combined total was dominated by his good year, where he had over 500 at-bats. Justice's combined total was dragged down by his big year of worst performance. Same paradox, different sport, same arithmetic. For 70 years, statisticians treated Simpson's paradox as a curiosity. In 2014, Judea Pearl, the computer scientist who won the Turing Award for causal inference, gave the cleanest modern answer to it. Pearl's argument is this: the data look identical in 2 opposite worlds. In one world, the third variable, stone size, department, year, is a confounder that should be conditioned on. In the other, it is a mediator that should be averaged over. The right action is opposite. The data alone cannot tell you which world you're in. You need a model of why the data look the way they do. Data are not self-interpreting. Without that model, every data set is 2 data sets in superposition. In late 2021, the United Kingdom Office for National Statistics published mortality data showing that, in aggregate, vaccinated people aged 10 to 59 had higher COVID death rates than unvaccinated people. Anti-vaccine commentators ran with it. The headline was real. When the same data were broken into 10-year age bands, the apparent reversal vanished. In every single age band, vaccinated people died at dramatically lower rates. The lurking variable was age. Older people inside the band were both far more likely to die and far more likely to be vaccinated. Misreading the aggregate in real time could have cost lives. Simpson's paradox didn't hide in a textbook. It hid in real medical reports, in real court cases, in real machine learning systems where a model that looks fair on average can be unfair to every subgroup separately. The paradox is, in the end, not a paradox. It is the mathematical proof that data alone cannot tell you what to think. Some questions have 2 correct answers. The right one depends on the question you choose to ask. A 9-point gap in 1973, 6 departments, 2 opposite stories from 1 set of numbers, both arithmetically true. Every week, another paradox, another impossible idea that turns out to be true. Subscribe. The next one might break something you did not know you believed.